to report to born at different times in different ways. But none of them come with instruction. Each child is unique within his own right. Each child has his own mindset. Each child has his own free will. And he's able to decide to go the way he desires to go. But the text bears out that this father still stood his ground. His son recognized, don't know how old the young man was, and not quite clear. History say that he was a young adult by the time he went to his father and asked his father, that you're going to give me, and you can tell he was arrogant to start with because he didn't want to wait till his father died. Now the text said that his father was wealthy. His father was rich. And the son recognized that his father had wealth and had a whole lot. And the son didn't want to wait, but he wanted his right then. And you know what? The father gave him all that he was due. Now the oldest son was always to receive more than the youngest son. But the father gave him what he was due. And the text said that this young man decided, I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to go and do my thing. I'm going my own way. He was rude. He was arrogant. He didn't have the right spirit. But his father gave it to him anyway. And his father noticed that the father, in spite of what his son asked for, didn't hold anything back. Didn't give him anything to remind him. Now, when this is gone, you won't get anything else. Didn't tell him anything like that. He didn't tell him, say, now, if you mess this up, I'm sorry, I'm writing you out of my will. Didn't say anything like that. But he gave his son what he was due. And I come to tell some father this morning, I know that we're living in a new day now. And I know we're living in with a new generation now. But the text reminds us that the rule remains the same. The father is still to be the father. The father is still to be in charge. The father is still to be in control. So the text says that the father, the leader of the home, did not allow his home to become R-rated. And that means resentment and rebellion, rejection. And even though his son was rude, his father gave it to him anyway. But his father decided, I'm going to allow a G rating to come into this house. Being grateful and being generous and being good in spite of how my son has done. I'm going to give him what he's due. But the father let his son go on. The father didn't try to find it. The father didn't try to check up on it. But the father just kept looking for his son to return. And I'm here to tell you, mothers and fathers, plant the right stuff in them when they're young. Start out treating them right and loving them anyway. Discipline them and give them guidance and give them direction. Be fair, be honest, show them and give them all that you can pour in them from a very young age. And if you put the right stuff in them, when the goods run out, when all the stuff fall by the wayside, they'll recognize where their help comes from. This father was fair. This father was decent. This father had a good reputation. This father was a living example. This father was a faithful father. He had his rules. He kept his rule. The son went out, didn't mind spending, had friends galore. And as always, your friends will stick with you till your goods run out. But notice the boy recognized even after being in a far country. And the text bears out that the son recognized that even though I'm not where I need to be. And the text bears out because of his background, because of his upbringing, because of who he was, he recognized that my father has hired servants that's doing better than I'm doing. My father has those that he can depend on that's living better than I am. I'm out here now. He was a Jew, and it was a sin, and it was against the Jewish law for a Jew to have anything to do with animals, and especially dealing with swine. But the boy sunk so low that the boy found himself out eating what the swine were eating, that they were faring better than he was. But the boy recognized, I know what I'll do. I messed up big time. I'm sorry that I messed up. I spent all I had. I didn't call home. I didn't write back. I didn't email back. I didn't text nobody. I just did what I wanted to do. I had a good time, but the good time now has come to an end. But the father recognized and understood understood, he let his son go for who he was. And I come by to tell you, mothers and fathers, sometimes you just got to let them go. Sometimes you just got to turn them loose. Sometimes you just got to recognize that they just got a mind made up that they can do it by themselves. Thank you, sir. You're about to kill me. They can do it by themselves. Sometimes you just got to make up in your mind that you got to let them go for what you know. You just got to let them go, but the Father maintained his integrity. The Father maintained his standard. The Father maintained that I'm going to stand for what's right. And the boy decided, I'm going to make up my mind that, you know, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to arise and go to my Father. And I'm going to tell him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against earth. Father, I messed up big time. I just messed up along the way. And I want you to forgive me. And I want you to receive me. The text said the boy made his way back home. The boy made his way back to his father's house. And the text said that the father still recognized that my son has been gone for a while now, but there's something still about my son. And the text said and reminded that the father still was looking for his son.